everyone, and welcome back to Bertina's Spiritual Sanctuary, the podcast where we explore the mystical, the sacred, and the divine. I'm your host, Bertina, and I'm honored for you to be here today because we're going to be doing something a little bit different. In this episode, we're going to deep dive into the art of building an altar for the divine feminine. Now, this is a lot of how-to with list of materials and things like that. And if you go to my website, bertina.org, BERTENA.org, then click on blog, you will find a list of everything that I talk about in this podcast. I felt like that creating a sacred space that connects you to the nurturing, intuitive, and powerful energy of the goddess was very important this month, especially because of the past podcasts we've done in connecting with your inner goddess. I know a lot of people do not necessarily like the word altar, so you can just say sacred space if you wish. But this to me is one of my most favorite things to do is altar work. And whether you're new to this practice or you're just kind of looking for new ideas for your altar work, today's discussion is going to guide you through the essential tools, the symbolism, and the rituals to help you create a space that resonates with your soul. I'm going to walk you through the significance of the divine feminine. We're going to talk about how to choose the perfect space for your altar. We're going to look at the tools and symbols that honor goddess energy, and we're going to discuss daily and lunar rituals for your altar. Now, remember, this sacred space, this altar, is up to you. My suggestions are just that, suggestions. They are not required. There's nothing going to happen if you don't do it the way I tell you to do it. Okay? So, in saying that, let's just kind of start talking about the divine feminine. The divine feminine is the sacred energy that represents your intuition, your creation, the nurturing that is inside of you, and the cycle of life. It's present in all of us, regardless of gender. Men and women both have divine feminine. Men and women both have divine masculine. Um, the divine masculine is more logic. The divine feminine is more nurturing or healing. The divine feminine is found in the moon's phases, the tides of the oceans, the rhythm of nature, and in the wisdom that's passed down from generations of healers, of priestesses, mystics, of our family and ancestors. Across different spiritual traditions, the divine feminine takes on many names and forms. There's Isis, who's the Egyptian mother goddess of magic and intuition. She is one of my favorites. Brigitte is the Celtic goddess of creativity and healing, and you'll hear a lot about her because she tends to come up a lot in the Wheel of the Year, especially in Celtic traditions. Kuan Yin is the Chinese goddess of compassion and mercy. She is considered a Bodhisattva, an actual Buddha that was human, and she chose to ascend. She is very much for mercy, abundance, compassion. I have a Kuan Yin altar, and I love her. Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love and beauty, is another one. We are going to do an activity in another podcast just on Aphrodite. Gaia is the Earth Mother, and she represents nature and all creation. I personally have altars for Mother Mary, for Mary Magdalene, for Isis, for Kuan Yin, for Buddha, and the female energy of the Gita, which is something new that I've been learning. And I'm trying to think, I have a chakra altar that has focus on the root, sacral, and solar plexus. And I have an angel altar for Archangel Uriel and Gabriel and all the other beautiful angels. So each of these goddesses carries unique wisdom. And whenever we create an altar or a sacred space, we're inviting this presence, this energy into our lives. So the altar is a portal, and I love portals, and we'll do podcast on portals later. But portals are a bridge between the physical world and the spiritual realm. I tend to do a lot of portals that are mirrors, that are rocks or stones. I love ancient things. So I look at the Oracle Delphi. I look at ancient stones a lot. I love Rebecca Campbell's Ancient Stones Oracle deck. It's probably one of my favorites. But anyway, back to the topic. The altar is a place of reflection and prayer, meditation, manifesting. You don't have to bow down to it. It is just there to remind you as you walk by to look at what it is to offer. I forgot I have an altar of Lilith in front of me. Lilith, Inanna, all of the earlier Babylonian Sumerian goddesses, they all represent the power of womanhood. For me, the feminist energy that we need today. So I have things that represent them, and we're going to talk about them. So, one of the first things you want to do is to find the perfect place for your altar. Now, it can be a space where you feel is safe and inspired, like a small corner in your bedroom, in your living room. It could be a dedicated shelf easily. It could be atop of a table. It could be outdoors in your garden or near a body of water, like a fountain. I have my angel ones as you come through the door. It looks just like angels. If someone come in my house, they wouldn't know any difference. I do have a black cat altar. I love black cats. It is on my desk on the right when you come through. Then you go through my house, and there's just little tables everywhere. There is a yoga, Buddha, Saraswati, Ganesha altar there. And yes, I mix some of the energies, even though they say you're not supposed to. I haven't had any problems yet, but we'll see. I have an altar that is private in my bedroom that no one can see but me. And then I have, of course, the Isis and Mary Magdalene and them in my office area where I practice. So think about this. Think about the energy of the space. If it faced east and you can face it east, it symbolizes new beginnings and inspirations. If it faces west, it connects with emotions, water, intuition. If it faces north, it's grounding and stable, stability that comes through. But the thing is, though, put it to where you feel like it is comfortable for you, it is in a safe space, and it is where you will see it when you walk by. But before placing any sacred objects on your altar, cleanse the space with either like sage, singing bowls, Reiki, anything like that, because this clears any lingering energy and creates a fresh foundation for your altar. I also, whenever I have them by the window sills, I cleanse the window, the sill, outside the window, and I place candles in the window in order to help with clearing that energy as well. So let's talk about a few things that you need on your altar. So selecting the tools and the symbols. These items are going to represent the different aspects of the divine feminine that you want to work with. So one of my favorites, as I said, are candles. Candles symbolize light and transformation and the sacred flames of the goddess. Different colors can hold different meanings. Pink is like love, self-care, care, and compassion. So we know that. Your heart. White connects with purity, helps you connect to spirit. Angels love candles, so I use white candles to bring angels in. Red is passion, vitality, the sacred blood mysteries. To me, red is Mary Magdalene. Silver, lunar energy, intuition, the mother goddess. Gold has to do with the sun, feminine energy, the divine power. Also, remember to look up the different goddesses, like Lady Nada is usually pink, Mother Mary is usually white, but go with how you feel. Crystals and stones are really important. As I said, I don't use crystals as much as I do stones. Crystals amplify energy and bring balance, and some of the ones that you can use are rose quartz for love and compassion, Moonstone for intuition, goddess energy, and lunar cycles. Amethyst is spiritual wisdom and protection. And carnelian is an example of fire and sexuality. I really like the different stones that look like obelisks. I think some stores call them pointers or something like that, but they look like ancient stones. They're my favorite. That's what I have. You can also use statues of goddesses, spiral symbols, sacred geometry. You can also look at the idea of a chalice representing the womb. And it's also the water element. So whenever you're looking at different natural elements, take into account the type of natural elements you want. Shells have to do with the ocean and Aphrodite and has water priestess energy. Spiral symbols represent the cycle of life, the divine flow. Flowers like roses and lavender have to do with beauty and intuition. Feathers, I love feathers, air energy for that. Athames, air energy, and herbs all help. Now, there's sometimes with your altars, you can use divination tools. Some of my altars have oracle or tarot cards. My Mary Magdalene has one of her many decks that I have. My Isis has the Isis Oracle deck. My um, Buddha Ganesha also has my Kali stuff. You can use pendulums for guidance, scrying mirrors to kind of help with introspection. But one of the things I like to do, because statues are expensive, and I only have a few, because they are really expensive, I like to spend my money more on goddess cards so that I could have the pictures of the goddesses and change them out and bring in new energy each time I cleanse that altar. You can also look at sacred text or affirmations to go on your altar. A book that has to do with the divine feminine or goddess energy, like the Rose Code, Mary Magdalene Revealed, anything like that. Priestess books can go there. I have the Gita, of course, on my yoga one. A journal for channeling messages. You can put affirmations like, I'm connected to the wisdom of the divine feminine. If I was you, I would do that on the refrigerator, where we tend to question ourselves when it comes to food, and have confidence in that we know what our body needs physically, and our divine goddess will guide us to what we need physically instead of shaming ourselves for food. That's just something that kind of helps me. Put them also, besides on your altar, on your mirror, and they they will really help, because especially if you have a hard time looking in the mirror, if you read the affirmation, it helps you kind of see the goddess within you. But each item that you choose should hold a meaning and purpose for you. Don't get items just because someone else has it, someone else likes it, someone says you have to have it. There's not. So daily rituals: light a candle, say a prayer, meditate a few times. Each day, maybe look at new moon rituals, full moon rituals, offerings for gratitude, a lot of that. But just remember, your altar is a sacred living space. Treat it with love and devotion. No two altars are going to look the same, and that's the beauty of it. Trust your intuition, add your personal touches. You can have an ancestral altar that also has to do with the goddess. Your grandmother, looking at pictures of your grandmother, looking at family heirlooms, nature items from sacred places, jewelry from your family. There's so much that you can do. Your altar should reflect your connection to the divine feminine. That's a lot for you to take on. Remember, I said that if you go to my website, bertina.org, all of this is written down for you, and you can just copy and paste from there. Um, but that's it for today's episode. I hope that this inspires you to create or enhance your divine feminine altar. I would love to see the pictures. Find me on social media. Tag me, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, Instagram is Bertina11. Um, Definitely tag me, show me your pictures, your altar pictures. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with others. Please like and subscribe to kind of help me. And for the next time, I just hope that you really enjoy what it is you're doing to connect with the goddess. Sending you love and goddess blessings. Until next time.